Hi, I'm Liv, podcasting from Italy.
And I'm Tina, podcasting from the Philippines. Welcome to Meryenda Therapy Podcast, a show where we celebrate our 40s one merienda at a time.
Hi mga Meryenda! Welcome back to Meryenda Therapy. This is Liv. Today is the first of our series of special episodes. First, as you can see, we're shooting outside. I'm in the lobby of our Venetian hotel. And second, I said we because finally, Tina and I are making our chikahan in person. So, Tina, prego.
Yeah. Grazie. Liv.
Come stai? Ciao.
Bene. Tutto bene.
Brava. May na-pick up na siya ng Italian.
Buongiorno, mga kamerienda. This is Tina, now podcasting from Italy. And we are starting off our Italy special with this special episode on solo traveling in our 40s.
Yes.
I am currently in the middle of my solo travel here in Italia, and we're going to talk about that.
Yes. She had her full week in Milan, so maybe she will make a lot of cuento with us later. And for anyone who's planning or thinking of doing their own solo travel, hopefully you'll find this episode really fun to listen to and insightful. And yeah, it's gonna be very fun.
Yes.
So normally we talk about our merienda. We haven't forgotten about that. We don't have it right now, so we'll take you with us as we go out, get lost, and look for merienda.
Let's go.
Okay.
Andiamo.
It's very hot, Liv, in Italy in August, so
Our makeup is so hulas.
yeah, that's why our merienda is.
Yes. So the first merienda that we're gonna show you is gelato. You have to have this in Italy, especially when it's summer. What do you
And
have?
the popular flavor is pistachio, so I'm having pistachio and nocciola because
Okay.
it's common here in Italy, right?
Yeah.
Nocciola.
I have pistachio then and limone. I love limone. So, yeah. Alright, so let's start our chikahan while natutunaw ang ating gelato. So, I was saying that, you were saying that you had your solo travel last week when you were in Milan. So now let's talk about, for anyone who are planning to do their own solo traveling, what are the advantages or are there advantages pa?
Yes,
What
of
about
course.
for you?
Of course. Advantage is number one, the flexibility of having nobody to consult for your
Okay.
plans. So if you're deciding to go to this place, you can go to this place. If you want to cancel your plans, you can cancel your plans. So everything's on you. You can be very flexible. You can go as slow or as fast as you want.
Flexibility is a big factor. Like sometimes I change my mind quickly. I may, decide to go to one place as part of the itinerary, and then I get there na hindi ko pala siya ganun kabet. Then I decide to just cancel it, or suddenly I decided I want to sleep a little bit more. So okay lang na skip ang breakfast. So that kind of flexibility. You don't have to do things that you're not so into because the rest of the group want to do that.
Yes. And also, you get to learn a lot of, you get to add to your skills, life skills. Like you get to navigate the directions on your own. You get to figure out the train.
Yeah, mapipilitan ka because you're not relying on anyone. And it did happen to me. Of course, when you do your solo traveling, there are bloopers, I remember I was doing the train travel also. I think I was in Verona. I was supposed to go back to Bologna. And then I got on the train. Kasi yun yung binary, yun yung platform sa ticket. I didn't pay attention, hindi ba pala yung platform. I was already in the train and then in-announced, this train is going to somewhere else. I go, oops, no, hindi yun ang pupuntahan ko. So I had to get off the
buti
train.
nakaalis ka.
Yeah, and then quickly go to the right platform. So yung gano'n, you have to be parang
alert.
Kasi baka mapunta ka somewhere else.
Oh, and then learning a new language.
Yeah,
Like you get to learn a new language because you don't speak to anybody, so you're forced to speak to the locals and at least learn a few phrases.
And make
to get
friends.
by.
So that's another advantage because when you're, like for me, if I'm traveling with my friends or even just one person, I tend to just kind of chit-chat with that person. Siguro, I guess meron kang ganung complacency na meron kang constant na kachikahan. But when you're alone, then you tend to open up a little bit more and talk to other travelers.
Uy, speaking of which, baka may chance to meet potential somebody.
Yeah, you tell me, right? Kung meron talagang gano'n.
Yeah, now, but right now, no. Pero nung time ba na solo traveling ka,
More on friends. So that was really
Walang
interesting.
potential.
Wala, so more on friends lang talaga. Siguro kasi I was thinking that this is temporary. Yeah, but it's always in good
Yeah,
to...
and they can come from different countries also. So it opens up a whole new world of friendships.
Yes, yes. And mas maganda na may wide network ka ng mga friends.
Yeah, especially if you're planning to go to that country.
Yeah, and it's
Meron ka
gonna
nakilala.
be another reason for you to go somewhere else. For example, Jen, who was one of our guests sa previous episodes, we went to Morocco and then we met another tourist or other tourists there from Romania naman. And then I stayed in touch with them. And then when I went to Berlin, when I went to Romania, I got to meet them. So masaya pagka ganun.
Oh, and also, if you don't know about the country where the stranger is from, you get to learn a new culture.
Yeah.
And then yun nga, baka interested ka to go to that country na
Exactly.
not totally new to you.
Exactly. So these are just some of the advantages, syempre, na pwedeng nating makuha when we travel alone. Yeah. Ciao again mga kameryenda. Nag-change costume kami kasi sobrang init. But at least nakapag-gelato tayo kanina kasi refreshing talaga.
Refreshing. Kailangan nating habulin ng ang pagtunaw niya.
Oo, correct. And sobrang excited namin dahil natutunaw ang gelato. We talked about the advantages of solo traveling kaagad. Pero, before we go on, kasi kung may advantages, may disadvantages, we got ourselves another set of merienda.
So, Liv,
okay.
you be the one to tell us about this.
Alright, so this one is a tiny cannoli. Tinake away na lang namin kasi ang daming tao. So, we had to find a quiet spot para i-enjoy it. So, what's yours? Yours is the chocolate one, right?
Okay.
Okay. So,
Chocolate cannoli. This is also cannoli.
yeah, cannoli siya pero parang mini version. And mine has crema in it and then yours has chocolate. So, sige.
Let's try from...
Husgahan natin.
Oo, kasi nagtry din tayo isang araw. Crispy. Pero mas gusto ko to kaysa dun sa...
Doon sa isang na-try natin. I think parang yun yata yung mas original, na parang taco, na talagang crispy. This one is more like bread. Yeah, pero mas gusto ko nga to. Tapos mas maliit siya.
Tapos mas madaling isubo.
Mas madaling kagatin, no?
Okay, so Liv, how did you start traveling solo?
Traveling solo. Wait lang ha. Kumakain pa ako. So mine is crema. Masarap siya. Actually, I've always been interested in travel. So kahit na when I was in Manila, I would be watching travel shows a lot. So parang na-intrigue ako na paano nga ba mag-travel on my own. So when I moved to Singapore, that's when I started doing that. I planned to go to Siem Reap, to Cambodia. So I planned itinerary ko from, I think I started in Siem Reap, then up to Phnom Penh, and then to Saigon, to Ho Chi Minh, in Vietnam. But at the last minute, somebody decided to join me. So medyo na pornada yung plan to travel alone. But then the following year, I was supposed to go with someone to Phuket naman. And then nag-cancel. So yung Phuket yung naging first solo travel ko. And I've always been interested in that. So it was fun. And after that, I did a few more. So that's how it started.
So would you prefer solo over traveling with a group?
I think it's like watching a movie. There are movies that I would really enjoy watching with friends, but then there are movies that I think may not really be interesting for them. So I would rather watch that on my own kasi alam ko na baka, alam mo yun, I would feel bad naman na they spent money on traveling pero they're not so into it naman. So I would say both. Yeah, there would be places that I would really like to go solo, and I'm glad that I was able to do that. Yeah. And ikaw, this is your first main solo travel.
Yeah.
What drove you to do this?
Okay, this is my first long solo travel. So I did solo travel to Bangkok. The first time I was in Bangkok and then Taiwan. But I met up with friends also there. But basically solo travel. Now, this is the longest one so far. So 2 weeks akong solo, so 1 week with you. And I just needed a break. And I felt na not a lot of people can easily be invited to go on a trip with me to Italy. So parang medyo challenging siya to plan a trip with somebody. So that's why I decided, oh, okay, I can do it alone anyway. And I welcome the time alone this time, especially since I needed a break. I needed a longer me time. So that's what drove me to go on this trip.
Okay.
Pero personally, hindi ko priority mag-solo trip. Like,
Okay.
I want to go to this place solo, ganun. Ganun. Wala pa naman ako
You're
na-plan.
glad that you were able to do it.
But yes, na happy ako because, time alone. Siguro, because of the reason of going on this trip, kaya naging solo, I ended up, being solo on this trip.
Right.
So, not really the travel itself, I want to go to Italy solo.
Okay. And earlier, while we were having our gelato, we were talking about the advantages. Kasi there are a lot of good things then that you can get from solo traveling. Now, let's talk about yung disadvantages. As for you, since you're currently in this, you're experiencing this, may mga disadvantages ba?
Yes. Number 1, ang budget.
Yes, agree ako dyan.
Budget because I have to pay for the whole room.
Walang kahate.
Myself, walang kahate.
Yeah.
Dati, whenever I would plan a trip, you look for hotels and then you would think, divided by 2, divided by 2. Ngayon, I have to pay, but I have to pay by myself. I have to pay for this whole price, total price by myself. So yun talaga yung number 1 disadvantage for me. Because I travel with a budget.
Transportation.
Taxi, if you take a taxi, it's just by you, walang kahate.
Yeah. And then, kasi ako, I try other different types of accommodation. Pero when I travel alone, I would go to hotels, and yung nice hotels in central location, which tends to be expensive. Kasi syempre, I'm thinking about my safety din eh. Parang, kung uwi ako ng mga 8 p.m., 9 p.m., safe bang maglakad doon, and safe ba yung hotel? So, that adds to the cost di ba? Na parang siguro, if I'm traveling with someone, kahit na 3-star, okay na, di ba? Pero pag I'm alone, medyo, mas kumbaga, mas mabusbisi sa accommodation. Kasi I have to think na,
Yours of your safety.
it has to be somewhere na safe. And also, easy to navigate kasi nga mag-isa lang ako.
Yeah, it has to be centrally located.
Yeah.
Like this trip, I made sure na malapit ako sa station. Kasi nga, challenge magbitbit ng bag. So
and
I can just go
And
around.
that would tend to be more expensive than kung medyo nasa malayong neighborhood ka, di ba?
Yes. Kaya din siguro napamahal.
Yeah.
And you talked about safety, so
Yes.
that's a concern for solo travelers. So I think you just have to be alert, no?
Yeah.
That's one of your strategy for managing safety.
Correct.
For
Parang hindi
safety
pwedeng aanga-anga. So, I mean, it's something that we have to prepare for. So, while I'm always encouraging friends to try
go
solo
on
traveling, right? It would be great if everyone could do it. Pero yun nga, you have to do some preparation para for your safety na din, especially women traveler.
Yeah, and you don't go to liblib places, to far-flung places na wala talagang tao. So you really just have to be aware of the surroundings and don't get yourself into trouble.
Yeah. And like for me, I like trying local drinks. I like wine, I like beer, especially when it's so hot, right? You just want to have a nice ice cold beer. But when I'm traveling solo, even though I would enjoy going to pubs, trying out the pubs, parang I skip that part. Or if I would go drinking early talaga, I'm watching crime documentaries kasi, so I'm even careful sa, let's say, yung leaving yung drinks sa bar. Right? Like I'm always
you have
watching
to
it.
be watching your drink.
Yeah, so medyo paranoid. Pero alam mo yun, well, it's my safety, di ba? So parang kailangan nakikita ko siya kasi somebody might put something there.
Yeah.
And then if you have to drink, I drink. Then make sure that it's not something na hindi mo kakayanin, makakauwi ka.
Yes.
So those things na you have to be aware of things that you need to do to make sure that you're safe.
Yes, yeah. So, take extra precautions with your hotel. Don't go to far-flung places. Don't stay out late at night, especially in
and
places
your things then. Have you done this, Tina? Like, even though, syempre, safe naman yung hotel, but I would put something under the door, like a chair.
Yes.
Sa door.
Yung chair. Mabigat yung chair, like sa Milan, mabigat yung chair sa room.
Under
so,
the doorknob, no?
First night ko, I put it there. Since mabigat nga, the second night, yung luggage ko na lang nilagay ko. And then the third night, actually nakalimutan ko because I was too sleepy.
But anything, no?
Pero yeah.
Parang worst case scenario, sinabi ko, kung may papasok talaga yun kasi chair lang yun, but at least may delaying factor.
And then magigising ka, diba? Aware ka.
So things like that. And even though use the safe deposit box in room, especially for your passport, yung talagang importanteng bagay. If you have medyo expensive items, if you have gadgets, if I have my laptop bag even, instead of just leaving them there sa room, sa bag, baka maging temptation. I would put them in my luggage bag and then I would lock it. I mean, of course, they can always take the whole thing, but at least hindi nakikita. Parang iwas temptation.
What I would do is, I would put D&D sign sa door. So I don't want my room clean.
Okay.
If I'm just staying for 2-3 nights, okay lang sa akin na hindi linisin so that nobody comes in.
Okay. Yeah.
Yun. So that's another tactic of mine.
They can do para...
And since we mentioned about budget and safety, have you tried hostels? I've tried hostels.
I've done that.
And in Japan, in Taiwan, and I think they're pretty safe. Pero kasi hindi ko nga tinry yung hostel this time, kahit mag-isa lang ako because may gadgets nga akong dala and I didn't want to risk, losing them. So I think that's also one of the advices kung gusto mo mag-travel alone but you're on a budget. So hostels are okay, especially in places na talagang mahal, like Japan, di ba?
Yeah. And then I think, I'm not sure, sobrang init, nakalimutan ko na, if we mentioned meeting new people as an advantage, I think we did.
Yeah.
Pero, be cautious pa rin. At least ako siguro medyo cynical ako when it comes to this. Like when somebody is being too nice, inviting you right away in places, then parang, if it's something that's too good to be true, then usually it's too good to be true.
Yes.
If someone's too nice to be true,
Okay lang siguro kung yung fellow traveler or pero just
kahit
be
na fellow
cautious.
traveler, they might be posing as a fellow traveler. I mean, talking to them, ako lang pero pag sinabi, come, invite kita sa ganito, or we're going to this place in our car. So, iisipin ko na lang na, that's nice, sige, para makakalibre ng transportation. But then, wait, I'm getting into somebody's car who's being too nice to me, parang, okay ba? Parang tama ba yun? Magandang idea ba yun? So, baka hindi. So, yun lang, parang,
again, be aware.
Yeah, be cautious lang na things can go wrong.
Yes.
There are a lot of nice people, but there are also people that
so
might
nice.
wanna take advantage of you.
And you're in a foreign place, so be
Yes.
careful.
And you're alone.
Yes.
So it's fun, pero yun lang, parang be careful.
Yeah. And another thing that I often hear from friends who haven't traveled alone is they are concerned about being lonely.
Have you been lonely sa 1 week mo sa Milan?
Not really, because I really welcomed, this time by myself. So no, not really. Pero siguro impression yon because you'll be alone.
Ako hindi naman kasi nga I've always been interested in doing solo travel and you get to talk to other people.
Yes.
I think
if you choose to,
Pinay, di ba, when you were in Milan. So you can choose not to talk to anyone and that might get lonely, but you can also be friends with other people, hopefully good people.
So you get to choose who you talk to, you get to choose when you want to talk to people. Unlike when you're with friends, talagang, baka magkatampuhan kayo kung hindi kayo mag-usap.
Tapos pagod ka na pala, low battery ka na pala.
And speaking of tampuhan, so advantage, Advantage pala yun. Advantage. Na walang katampuhan kung if you're traveling solo. But going on sa disadvantages.
Yeah, I think so far yung usual na naririnig natin and important things that you have to take note of yung cost, yung safety, and yung I guess worry that it might be lonely.
Yes.
Oh, maybe speaking of lonely, maybe photos. Walang magpi-picture sa'yo.
Oo, ako yun ang concern ko. Kasi especially ang impression ko of Milan, maraming pickpockets, maraming mga masasamang...
So, ayaw mo mag-tripod na yun.
Oo, at saka madaming tao. And also, baka pag inabot ko yung phone ko, itakbo. So, inaabot ko lang siya sa fellow travelers or Pinay, mga ganun, Pinay. So,
ang sakit kung Pinay, tapos tinakbo pa rin.
No. So, yun nga, makilatis. Basta yung pakiramdaman nyo lang kung tama naman yung
cautious, kilatisin.
Kilatisin.
Before iabot ang camera.
Oo. So, yun naman so far. Pwede ka naman magpaabot. Pero minsan, alam mo, sa Bangkok, I was solo nga, no? Yeah. Inabot ko yung camera ko sa Chinese kasi naka-camera din siya.
Yeah.
So,
yung malaking... right? Yeah. And then...
Ayaw niyang kunin, ni-refuse niya. Or baka hindi niya...
Baka
maintindihan. Hindi niya maintindihan kahit tinuturo ko ng camera. So, yun lang yung isang disadvantage.
Be ready for sa rejection.
Rejection. And yun nga, be ready for less photos. Unlike, but then I know some people who have lots of photos. Oo, na strangers lang din yung nagkumukuha. So, I don't think that's a deterrent.
That shouldn't deter you from trying out solo traveling.
So weighing these advantages and disadvantages, parang mas mabigat pa din yung
I think depende pa rin sa inyo, syempre. Iba-ibang tao, di ba? Yung
purpose of travel.
Really. And yung iba siguro talagang hindi ito para sa akin kung alam niyo na yun. Pero if you're thinking na mukhang gusto ko to, pero I'm worried about certain things, then so that's why we wanted to share with you ano yung mga advantages para sa amin, ano yung mga disadvantages, and how you can probably prepare for them para hindi naman mag-worry masyado.
Oo, para you know what to expect.
Yeah.
Coming from especially Liv, na madami nang napuntahan solo.
Sobrang madami, mga more than 2. Yeah.
So, take on that exciting trip na solo.
Yes. And, okay, so we'll go and look for more Meryenda, but I think it's almost Apperetivo time, so maybe we'll do that.
Yes.
Yeah?
Andiamo.
Andiamo.
Ang daming mint,
Grazie.
Grazie.
There you go. Salute.
Salute to solo traveling.
Yes. Ang init talaga. So, how is it?
Very refreshing.
Yes. So, nagsimula ang chika natin kaninang umaga. Natirik ang araw. From hotel, we had our gelato. Natutunaw na sa sobrang init. And then we had another Meryenda. And then in between, syempre, we had lunch. Kaya hindi na namin na-try lahat ng mga nakita natin na naka-display sa window. But of course, hindi natin pwede skip ang aperitivo. So, so we're having this now. Now, ano naman so far yung mga learnings mo, Tina? I know, of course, 1 week pa lang, and you have another week later on going to Assisi, Ancona, and then even Rome. So far, ano yung learnings mo na sa solo travel?
Well, speaking of solo traveling, I realized na mas preferred ko pa din to travel with friends. But, I can go solo if I need to. Like, in this trip. Like, if I really want that time off. And yun yung naramdaman ko ngayong trip na to before I made this trip. I really needed the break. So, kahit walang kasama. And mas maganda nga kung walang kasama because I needed time for myself. Parang to regroup because the first half of the year was challenging for me. So, this is talagang welcome break. So, I'm looking forward to the next half, of my solo travel, to really...
So, learnings mo is, mas prefer mo pa rin to share the experience.
Yeah, I realized that if I travel, I want to travel for the experience and to share those experiences with friends. or loved ones. Not really just to see places and to take photos of places. So yun yung realization ko na, ganito pala yung gusto ko. So this is a good time to really reflect on what I want, to parang regroup na, ito pala, to catch up with myself, kung ano na ba talaga. How are you, Tina? Parang gano'n. Parang gano'n. And then yun nga, na-realize ko.
Magsasalita ng malakas na, how are you, Tina? Baka mawindang yung mga katabi mo, yung nakakita sa'yo, di ba?
No, sa room lang yun pwede.
In your head lang.
So yun yung parang pag-isip-isip ko na, okay, so hindi pa rin siya malayo dun sa dati kong attitude towards
but at
traveling.
least now you've confirmed
Traveling,
since you've tried it. And I think that's the good thing about trying it, di ba? Parang you wouldn't know until you get into it. So, pwede yung mga listeners din natin tinry, pero yun nga, na-confirm mo na mas okay pala talaga para sa akin na mag-travel with other people. Sa akin naman is, I really enjoy it. But again, and that's why I keep encouraging friends. Pinopromote ko talaga siya kasi I think maraming mga pwede kang matutunan. And also yourself, you get to know really yourself. Diba? Kung marami kang mga self-reflection na pwedeng gawin. And when you're with friends and with a big group of people, baka walang opportunity na gawin yun. Kasi nga, busy kayo taking photos and talking to each other and all those things. So I think I would still advocate yung solo travel. Kung kaya lang naman, syempre, if your situation allows it. And it doesn't have to be, across the globe. It doesn't have to be in another continent. Kung nasa Pilipinas tayo, pwede namang another city, another province.
Yung outside of your comfort zone, outside of your usual place.
Yes. So, yun. So, try din natin siya. And another thing na realize ko din is, since you get to learn a lot of things, try to do yung solo traveling siguro before you get married, if you're intending to get married, or before you get your, start your family.
Because it's a big change to your dynamics, diba? Social dynamics.
They may not have the opportunity to do that kung may little kids, and kung may family na. I mean, it's not impossible. I think some people still get to do that, pero it's not as easy as when it's just you.
Kasi you don't have any reason to go solo, diba? Your husband will question you or your wife will question you.
Ay, baby, umiiyak yung baby, tapos iiwan mo, wait lang, I have to, I need my me time.
Pero yun nga, speaking of me time, baka pwede din, mag-usap kayo. Pero still, generally, you're not.
Pero kumbaga mas maraming kailangan i-consider, mas maraming approval process.
Which makes me think, since I've done solo traveling.
Baka yun ang kasunod.
Baka yun. Baka
diba?
isang
Yun
hudyat. It's a sign.
Okay, check na siya. So
it's a sign.
Okay, sige.
And also, speaking of that, also when you go on solo traveling nga, di ba, ganun, natanong ko na ba kanina yun?
Naalin yun?
Yung there's a potential
you might meet someone.
Friends, there's a potential, romance there.
Meron ba nangyari last week?
Wala pa.
May 1 week ka pa.
Wala pa. So,
never say never.
So, we'll see. Pero it's not naman, hindi po yun ang goal.
That should not be the motivation kasi parang may iba yung buong itinerary. We talked about
kasi nga solo so you should be alone. So, yun yung goal.
Pero syempre kung yun ang motivation yun, then baka yung mga sinabi natin kanina na going to bars and then, di ba?
Kasi baka yun lang yung, nandun naka-focus yung mga activities. So, but then, just be open to possibilities, no? Ayun, yun yung learning ko rin na, this solo traveling is like life na yun nga, you can go on solo, you can go with friends, but in the end, you should be comfortable being with yourself and also being open to possibilities. Kasi,
pag may chumika sa'yo sa train,
just be vigilant, pero still be
sure
open.
Lang hindi siya nagnanakaw sa bag mo, pero yun, be friendly pa din.
Kasi what if you want to go to a place na wala namang ibang gustong pumunta? Alam nga naman, you pass up the opportunity to do so, and then you pass up the opportunity of learning a new place. An interesting place, like Italy. All because walang gustong sumama sa'yo. So I think that's what happened during this trip. Na I really wanted to come back here to Italy, pero walang pwedeng sumama.
Okay. So to solo traveling again.
Solo traveling
Yes.
and to be open to possibilities. So
Yes,
let's see what will happen in the next 2 weeks.
Yes,
Yeah.
and to all our listeners, please catch us on YouTube, on Spotify, and Apple Podcasts if you haven't.
Follow our Instagram and Facebook pages.
Yes, and then we'll have a few more episodes here in Italy while nandito pa si Tina before she goes on with the rest of her solo trip. So we appreciate you joining us in our Meryenda session, and we hope to see you again. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao!
Cheers.
Salute! Ito yung famous na na picture pag Venice.
Yes, and I think ito yung parang parking area, berthing area kapag ng mga gondola. So you can see, ayan, papaalis na sila. But this is really a nice view. I've seen people doing their prenup photos.
Yes.
Pagka maagan, wala pa masyadong tao.
Because maganda yung background
Yeah.
of the church
Yeah.
there.
And sometimes it's also quite breezy here, so yes, it's good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Welcome to Venezia.
Tina, so do you want to try those? It's called cicchetti.
Cicchetti.
See, I think it's a traditional street food ng Venice. Para siyang, it's like bruschetta and then iba-iba yung mga toppings niya. So see, it's like so, parang sarap ng mga itsura niya.
Wow. So many toppings. Wow, this is the famous Rialto Bridge. Is it Rialto?
Yes,
Rialto.
it's Rialto. It's one of the 4 main bridges over the Grand Canal, and I think this is the most popular kasi it's really beautiful.
Yeah,
You can see, right?
It's the biggest, no?
Yeah, and then it has the best view of the canal and all the boats. All right, so we're in the many bridges.
Ponte.
Ponte, yes, brava. Dito sa Venice, and
Merong, merong gondola.
yeah, so makikita mo merong gondola. I'm not sure kung sasakay tayo
Oo nga.
because medyo expensive, but yeah. So
Pang-picture na
one
lang.
of the trademark ng Venezia.
Nice.